Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Master the Basics podcast with your girl Esme and your boy here Marcus. Here to talk to you about everything that has to do with life, mastering the basics when it comes to life overall, whether it be with your faith, your finances, your health, your fitness, school, whatever the case may be that you may be dealing with. We are here to help you to be your daily life coaches here. And today we wanted to talk to you all about resilience and success and what that may look like to you, but what that has looked like for us in our lives here to give it to you. So today we're going to go in and dive into it and cover a couple topics here. But the first thing that I wanted to get into and ask was, how do you define success for yourself?
Hmm. Okay, well, I think that's a question that is relative to each one's own definition, what success means to them. So for me, it's like I feel successful and fulfilled in reaching my own goals, whether it's a career goal, it's a personal goal like fitness goals, hitting the gym more, achieving certain results in the gym, or even at work if I want to do or have a career and I want to get to that next step in my career. Um, that's literally how I define success for myself, always getting one step better each day in terms of my own growth, also related to mindset, how I deal with certain situations in life. When I look back a few years ago, I would let a lot of things influence my mood, how I handle things. I would let how other people act towards me, or how they treat me control my emotions, instead of thinking, oh, I'm not the problem here. That's them. That's on them. That's something they have to work on. A lot of times I would look at myself and search for the problem in myself, although I was never the problem. So I really think success and mindset is connected to each other big time. And once you realize that, that will bring you a lot further in life. So work on your mindset, and you'll see that you will be more successful in life and more fulfilled and more happy, even if you fail sometimes, because failure or setbacks are only going to bring you further in life because they usually come with big lessons learned. How
Yeah.
about you?
No, I definitely love everything that you said and agree with all that. Success is such a relative term, and it can mean so many different things to so many different people. But for me, I would say success, I define it as, are you hitting your goals? Are you accomplishing the things that you wanted to achieve, that you had set out? So it can be something as simple as, I woke up today and I went to the gym and I had a successful workout. I had a successful start to my day. Did you get to work on time and knock out the task that you needed to knock out? That was a successful day. You could look at it as, hey, how much money are you making? Are you achieving your financial goals? Are you achieving your physical goals? Are are you reading every single day, whether it be a self-development book, a finance book, a the Bible, to learn more about your spiritual side and everything on that realm? Like, what is that? And a lot of that is for me. Like, I keep a lot of tasks in my phone and in my reminders and in my notes of what I need to accomplish for that day. And I'll just check it off throughout the day to know whether I achieved it or not. That was a successful day for me. And if something happened in the middle of the day to where I need to adapt and remove a task and put it on another day, then I will do that as well. It doesn't mean it was an unsuccessful day. Life will happen across the way for every single person. And you just learn to be able to adapt to those certain situations to keep your life a successful life, because
Mm-hmm.
we're all going to have hiccups and hurdles and trials and tribulations and all these different things, but you can still find and have success within all of that every single day. So just like you mentioned, failure or really setbacks, those are going to happen. You're still going to be successful with the setback. You can take one step back and two, three, four, five, 6 steps forward. So just keep working on the craft that you're working on, the skills that you're working on, whatever it is that you may be working on, because that's what I do all the time as well. And I found myself to be more successful when I write stuff down and when I keep track of it versus if I just think about something that I need to do, then so much stuff will happen throughout the day. I'm going to forget. That's when I'm not successful. So I have to keep myself grounded and rooted and write stuff down all the time to know that I'm going to keep myself on track in order to be successful.
Mm.
So that's how I define it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think that takes us into the next question that I wanted to ask is can you just share a moment when, failure shaped your success?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Um, First and foremost, I want to say I love a good failure, I guess, as bad as it sounds, because failure or failing and setbacks in life, it has such a negative connotation. But when I look back, every time I've gone through something in life, and of course, it wasn't pleasant, it's never a pleasant experience. However, I've learned so much, and afterwards, I'm always grateful it happened the way it did because I wouldn't be where I'm at today if I did not learn out of that situation and basically draw conclusions and learnings out of that. And now I'm doing things differently. So, to get back to the question, a failure that shaped my success today is when I did not get promoted when I was supposed to get promoted or when I wanted to get promoted back a few years ago. And I literally had to like take on another position to, get further and then finally to have a new boss who actually sees the value in me and everything that I do. And sometimes you have to take a different route. Sometimes you have to take a detour in life to get you to the spot where you want to be. Um, because honestly, I've learned so much and I felt way more appreciated with that new position that I was in with a new boss than before. And who knows if I was, if I had gotten that promotion back then, what type of people I would have had to deal with. And maybe I wasn't even 100% ready. Or even if I was ready and if I was prepared, maybe it would have put me in spots where I had to go through certain struggles that weren't going to be pleasant for me. So I really don't know that, but I know that I'm glad the way it happened. And when I look back today, I am at a much better spot and I don't regret it. I'm glad things happened the way they did. There's always a lot of learning in there. So yeah, I think that's one example of how failure can actually bring you further in life and make you appreciate certain things way more because for example, in this example, life life is not just your career. Life is not just work. It's not just evolving around work. So I learned to appreciate other things more in life, without diminishing the importance of my career, but definitely paying attention to how people treat me and who I work for and that I'm definitely big on choosing my boss over choosing a position and choosing titles. So, what about you?
I love what you just said about you choose your boss because that's something that I started doing years ago as well. Is choosing who I want to work for. Do I value this person? Are they going to lead me down the right path? And all those sorts of things. Because a lot of times it's not the employees, it's these managers that don't know how to lead properly and how to develop people. I see it all the time. I saw it when I was a manager, a leader within the organization, and still am today. But you see people that have issues, and then all of a sudden they have a different manager and they start to flourish because that person was able to bring something out of that person that the other person wasn't, or they just weren't being poured into or developed properly. And you see it in everything. You see it in sports and everything around us. Like, why did one person have success with one team and not success with another team? And it's all those different types of things. But I have a lot of work examples myself. But one thing I'll speak about for a moment where failure shaped my success is something I spoke about on a previous episode is me getting kicked out of college after getting a football scholarship. That was a huge failure at the time for me in my life because in my mind, I was heading down a path of going to the NFL and playing football in the National Football League and all those different types of things. To where now all that is stripped away from me out of my own doing, hanging out with the wrong people, not going to class, skipping school, like all those different types of things that I incurred on myself with having the wrong mindset back then. So I put myself in a place of failure, but when all that happened, it helped me flip a switch in my mind and in my mindset to fall back on all the things that I had been doing and was taught growing up that I just wasn't acting in that time. So when I got out of school, got kicked out of school, and then went into the workforce, all those skills started to flourish. I'm a very competitive person, and that stems from my sports background. So I took all those different things from my sports background and implemented it into my corporate environment. And that helped me flourish in the corporate environment with everything around me just to outwork everybody else and learn to understand other people, especially when I became a manager. Like you can have 10 different people on your team, you're going to have 10 different sets of personalities. You're going to have 10 different sets of issues and all those different types of things. And these managers that don't know how to lead out here just lead one type of way, manage one type of way, and expect everyone on the team to cater to that. When in reality, you as a manager need to cater to your employees and understand what makes them flourish, what makes them tick. And a lot of my sports background helped me because you're in a team environment, learning different individuals that come from everywhere, especially in football. You got about 53 people on a team and 11 people on the field at a time, and you all have to work together to accomplish one goal. So that helped me the biggest in a team environment to become successful in the corporate environment. And the workout regimens that you're on, having to show up on time. If you don't, you got to run all these laps and gassers and all that type of thing, and you have your punishments and all that type of stuff. So we always had a saying when it came to sports that I still use today is if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And if you're late, it's unacceptable. And I've always used that throughout my life, whatever it is that I may be doing to help produce more success in everything. Yes, you're going to be late at sometimes and life's going to happen, but like in the most majority of the time, that is what happens. So I've been able to use that failure to help spring a lot of my successes in life, and not just in the corporate environment, but in everything in life. So that was the biggest thing for me.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Amazing. Definitely good lessons learned, and also how you transfer your knowledge from one area to another. I love it. Yeah, I think that leads us to the last question for today's episode. That I would like to know from you is what keeps you going when things fall apart and when life gets tough?
Yeah, for me, the number one thing is my faith. Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. And when all things feel like they're falling away, I know that I can fall back on His word at the end of the day. And going through one of the biggest transformations in my life right now, we're going through a divorce over the last year and a half. So on the outside, it can feel like everything is falling apart around you when you go through a court system, your money gets frozen, you don't get to see your kids all the time, you get put on child support, you get put on spouse support, all these different things. Like your life gets flipped upside down immediately. Like I went from being in a 17-year relationship, married for 14 of those, being in the household with your kids 100% of the time to going through a divorce and now having to deal with custody situations. And you go from 100% of the time with your kids, stripped down by the court system to 25%, 33%, 42%, or 50%, based on what type of schedule that you are given. And the schedule I'm given is around 42% of the time. So I saw them all the time, every single day, down to less than half the time immediately. So that can play on you physically, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. and it's definitely been a financial hit at all that. But staying rooted in my spiritual side, staying in the Word, staying prayerful every single day has allowed me to operate within that when all things else felt like they were falling apart, and the people around me, including yourself, people I talk to on a daily basis that have helped lift me up when I may feel down, even if I don't show it. Being on Bible study groups, being in friend circles, like just going out and having dinner with a person, and just speaking and releasing stuff helps with mental stability and all those different types of things, to where I am great physically. I still go to the gym every single day. I didn't allow myself to fall into a depression and gain 30, 40, 50 pounds like you see other people do that go through divorce and stuff like that. Staying strong mentally, staying strong emotionally, going through a healing process myself, going through a class called Divorce Care, staying rooted in the Word every single day, and keeping strong spiritual people around me that have my spiritual side strong, to where now really the only thing that has been down is this finances. And that's just all tied up because of the situation where finance you can make back at the end of the day. So I'm not worried about that. God can always provide. So everything that keeps me going is my spiritual side, first and foremost, each and every day, and knowing that all things will fall into place at the right time if I just surrender my will. Something you mentioned before is surrender my will over to God each and every day and let his will be done and not my own, because every single time I try to do stuff myself, it doesn't pan out. But when I release it and surrender it, that's when things start to pan out every single time. So what about you?
Oof, that was deep. I got a little emotional over here. Wow. Wow. That's, yeah, those are really big and tough things to deal with, and where your mindset comes into play, and where you basically shape your mindset is when you go through tough situations in life, you know. And definitely faith and my own belief in God is one thing for sure. We've already said a lot of things around that, surrendering and trusting God's plan, because your plan might be, you know, one thing. You want, let's say, you want a house with a garden, but God's plan may be bigger. You get
Mhm.
an even bigger house with a garden and a pool and a terrace and whatever else you can imagine around it. So always trusting that there is something better and bigger waiting out there for me, but also, you know, my own goals and accomplishments that I want to reach in my own life. Like, I can fail, I can lose my face out there, but I can never disappoint myself. I can never let myself be stuck in misery for too long. You know, of course, you have to like go through things and like sit with yourself and allow the emotions. I think that's important. But then find a way to pick yourself back up, come back stronger, and work on your goals. Continue. Like, just don't stop. And that's the biggest thing. Like, me proving to my own self that I can do whatever it is that I put my mind to. And I was able to do that so far, and going forward, I know I will. So those are the things that are keeping me going when things get tough and when life, you know, is trying to teach me a lesson.
No, I love that. Something we all need to know and learn every single step of the way. And the last thing I'll say before we wrap up this episode is just anybody out there, like, don't let other people define your success. Everyone has a story. Everybody goes through different things. We're all put through different tests. That's how we all have a different testimony to share with other people and to help build other people up. Other people don't define your success. What success looks like for them does not look like that for you. So even though a person may be trying to drag you down and pull you down, you don't have to do that to them or do that to other people. Let your success shine above all that other stuff that's going on, and know that you are made exactly the way that you need to be. So,
Amen.
yeah,
Grace.
yeah,
Yeah, show yourself some grace. Be
yeah,
proud of your
absolutely,
be proud of your path, your journey, your accomplishments so far. Cause yeah, you didn't just get this far just to get this far.
absolutely. Love that. You didn't get this far just to get this far. So with that, we will go ahead and wrap up the episode. Appreciate all of you for tuning in. Go ahead and like, subscribe, share the content. We are on YouTube, Spotify. We're on many social media platforms with Threads, TikTok, Instagram. So go ahead and give us a follow on every single platform. Tune in to the previous episodes, more episodes to come. We got the hearts on the screen. It's going to be a loving day, a loving weekend. But go out there and kill it in every single thing that you do and just master the basics of life, and you will start to flourish. So, with that, we will see you next time, and we're out.
All right. Bye, y'all.